and one. We are live on Facebook. Hello, everyone out there in Facebook land. This is Andrew Berman and my buddy Paul Lucido, connecting in from California. We are here to present 30 Days of Thought. Today's passage that we're going to be going to is Industrial Age. And listen, I'm going to admit, like, this was a tough one. Like, I read this 3 times, and I had difficulty. I didn't even have a lot of notes, but I have some thoughts about this. So we are going to kick this off, as always, with Paul, because Paul always has great insights. And the fact is, I always get, like, from what he comes up with, I get some ideas. So Paul, kick it off.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. And you know what? This actually isn't as tricky as you might think, and we'll get there. So let's just start with Jay's abstract, which normally you read. I'll just go ahead and read it. When we reminisce on our past and begin to pass judgment, let's make sure we take time to pause and appreciate Industrial Age. Okay, so let me tell you, this was actually not that difficult. I felt this made good sense to me. Here's what it boils down to. In 1760 was the Industrial Revolution. Many of you know that. The Industrial Revolution started in Great Britain, right? You think of you think of loom machines, and you think of the steam engine, right? This was the time when, I put here, where there was a huge shift, a huge paradigm shift in both the economic and we'll call it the social organization. This is a time where hand tools were now literally replaced by machines, okay? Yeah. And when people were working basically 9 to 5, right? And we're going to get into that part. We're going to let Andrew talk a little bit more about that. So when you think about this, it was a culture all its own, only to be superseded by what we know now today to be the information age or the digital age. And Andrew and I actually had a discussion about that in a prior topic. In fact, it would have been made more sense if we would have done this one first and then did information age. But here's the message that I got out of it, and hopefully, Andrew, you did too. Let's not dismiss our past when we reflect upon it. Let's remember, if it weren't for that Industrial Revolution, a lot would not have taken place today. It's a natural progression of change, okay? That was a pinnacle time for us as a culture, and it's helped contribute to our culture. I love something here that Jay wrote. I highlighted it. It said, "When we decide to learn from our past, may we earn dividends on our future." 100% agree with that. We need to learn from our past. We need to reflect back. You hear people reflect on the golden era. Some people crap on it, and say, "Oh, you know what? That's the old golden days. We're much better off where we are today." That may be true. We are probably much better off today than we were back then. But you have to pay homage to these milestones as we all evolve and grow as a culture. Each piece contributes to the whole. Each piece has meaning. So with that, let's start there. Let's have some dialogue. That to me was what Jay was trying to get across.
Yeah, and listen, so the Industrial Age was like, this big productivity shift. We went, like I said, from hand tools, to using things like the cotton gin. We have to keep in mind, keep respect. And actually, it's funny. I think about boredom. Like boredom. So we did a boredom a few episodes ago, and boredom, really actually today we are allowed to be bored because we don't have to go out and find our food. We don't have to do all these things, and part of it actually is because of what happened in these productivity changes. Obviously, most recent one is the information age, but in the Industrial Age, where we're able to produce so much more and have that big productivity shift, it's and we come to today, when the information age, because that productivity shift in the Industrial Age, we still had all of the things that we needed to do, around our house, and we had finding the food or doing whatever we had to do, actually, that was more laborious than it is today. But today, actually, information age allows us to be bored if we want to, but it also allows us to work a lot more. Allows us actually, to be focused on working a lot more instead of going from, as Jay called it, from our 9-to-5 jobs that we had, working machines, working at assembly lines, working actually in at the cotton gin, to now 95-hour lives, where whether it's we're entrepreneurs or chief marketing officers of huge mortgage banks, we're working 95 hours. Listen, I know from Paul, I get messages from him around the clock, and I know 5 o'clock doesn't come actually, and he doesn't leave. And I know actually, he doesn't start thinking about work at 9 o'clock. So we need to pay respect to where we came from, acknowledge actually, the past, the huge, productivity shift that happened in the industrial age. But we also need to realize that the information age, the productivity shift that happened in that far superseded that, not to, discredit what happened in the industrial age. So that's my take on it.
Well, clearly you did better than you thought you would do. And like I said, just a little bit of a little backstory to help people. You brought up a couple things I couldn't help. I was back in school as you were talking. You were reminding me. Eli Whitney, he invented the cotton gin, and I remember that in school. And it's funny because when I think about where we are now, it's true. Many of us, and there are people that work a hell of a lot harder than I do. And you guys know who you are out there that put it, I always make jokes at, here at Paramount Residential Mortgage Group, the company that never sleeps. These guys are up, literally all hours of the night. I think most of them literally suffer from insomnia. That's just what they're used to. So yeah, but what a great time we do live in.
I don't know if it's insomnia or it's obsession, with hitting their goals, hitting their objectives. Yeah, like I don't look at. Listen, when we see videos coming from Kevin, he's not suffering from insomnia. He's just passionate and loves what he's doing.
Yeah, Kevin is a road warrior for sure. In fact, I just saw a post. He was flying on a plane. He was taking photographs of Disneyland's fireworks, which looked like a tiny little speck on the radar. He was, because of the elevation he was at. Okay, here's the thing. We really need to acknowledge the past, because the past, again, contributes to the future, contributes to the present, or the extended present. If you're into science and you're into general relativity and special relativity, you'll know what I'm talking about. The reality of it is that what's really, really kind of neat is we live in a day and age now where we have this amazing ability to do what you and I are doing right now, Andrew. We're at two different antipodial places. You're over all the way in the, on the East Coast. Here I am at the West Coast, and we're having a conversation like we're sitting there having coffee together. Actually, I do have a cup of coffee, just for the record. But what a great time we live in the information age era, where we have the ability, all of us, to share information collectively. We're all drinking out of the same well. And it's got so much information that we have to go through and decipher and have discussions about. It truly is an amazing place to be at this time in our existence. However, let's be clear that we wouldn't be here had it not been for the Industrial Revolution, had all that not broken loose in Great Britain back in 1760. Okay, because think about that progress. Think about the cotton gin, as you were talking about. Think about the loom that they used to weave. Think about the steam engine. Robert Stephenson was involved with. I mean, you gotta think about
the printing press.
The printing press. Which now we have digital, right?
I might not have a magazine around here, but yes.
No. Let me speak to that. That now now we're both in the same lane. The Heidelberg printing press, which is probably one of the largest ones, it's as long as a building. I've seen these machines. They're unbelievable. They're huge. And you think about that. Now we got digital printing, which almost looks like offset printing. I remember working in the engineering field when we had what was called the computer room, and there were literally these guys in white lab coats with analog gauges on the wall with the needles and everything, and the mag tapes going like this and that, were very Austin Powers like, okay? I mean, literally. And now all of that could be done on something that's this big, a tiny little microchip. It's just unreal how we've evolved. Exactly. Your whole life lives on this digital marvel right here in front of me. Okay. So yes, it's apples to oranges, but in reality, it's also natural progression. It's the evolution of technology to where we are today. And so, you know, hats off to the Industrial Revolution. Don't forget where you come from. I don't mean to get preachy, but I think if I understood Jay correctly, if I felt what his point was, that's what he was saying. One last thing I'd like to read off what Jay said, because I know he'll appreciate this. This was as Nietzsche said, okay, and I believe it's pronounced Nietzsche, said, "As I climb, a dog chases me. I call him ego." Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting, very profound. And so again, like I said, you know what? You need a little bit of that. That's what keeps us moving forward. That's what keeps us looking for that next horizon, that next frontier. So I you know, how nice for us to have this opportunity to be part of that existence. There's my 2 cents.
That's good. We did it. We did it. I was listen. This one, like I said, this is a tough one. But listen, the whole thing about this book, the whole thing about 30 Years of Thoughts. There's no wrong way to do it. There's no wrong interpretations. I've seen actually, you know, many other people do these kind of videos, and they're completely different than what our take was. I've even seen Jay do it actually, and completely different than our take. And I think actually that's the beauty of this. The beauty of this book. You know, that is it's so much more than a book, and a powerful medium that inspires us to change. So there it is, available Amazon and other booksellers, if there are any other booksellers left. I don't even know. Yeah. All right. So we want to call off the next one yet?
Sure. Well, so look, you want me to just go ahead and I got the book in front of me. Would you like me to pick something?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'll just kind of thumb through. I actually think this is interesting. Do you want to be managed?
Do you want to be managed?
This is not a shorty. This is a couple pages. So it says, do you want to be managed? Let me read you the abstract so we can have an idea. Leadership is freedom and unshackles chains of conformity. Do you want to be managed? Very interesting. I think that could be a good one. It'll give us something to dig into and have for next week. And as I like to always say, you know, what is it? Read to think, write to develop, listen to what is unsaid, and speak to let go. I think I got that right.
That's exactly it.
And that's what this book is designed to let you do. I think you and I, over the last year, have done better. Today is our 3rd episode for season 2. So this would put us at about 24 total episodes, I believe, to date. I think we did actually 22, 23, 20. Yeah, this would be about the 24th episode, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 25th. So, but that being said, man, I really, really enjoy doing this with you as always. And I look forward to what the future is going to bring for both of us here. As well as Doran. And to you too, Jenna Silverman, who did an amazing job editing this book. It takes a village to put this stuff together.
Yeah. I think, listen, Jay, you know, he spits out his raw thoughts, and Jenna takes actually these thoughts, you know, and polishes them off to become actually these masterpieces. So beautiful. So, of course, listen, this next section we're going into is perfect for me, as we've recently been acquired, and I, instead of being the business owner, became an employee, and part of actually a larger organization. So this is perfect. So all right, we will do this again the next couple of days or next week, I guess, and that's about it. All right, have a great day, everyone.